head-to-head does favour Allen quite considerably, 11-4, but we'll see. Mark Williams is still
ready, Mark.
A wily old fox on the table, as we saw at the British Open this season on ITV.
Thank you,
that was his big success of the campaign. Mark Allen has since won the championship and the shootout.
Yeah, very interesting matchup this. In the respect that both players can play a variety of ways, a variety of different games. They're both quite happy in a tactical game, both very clever, and obviously both capable of very high scoring and playing an attacking game. So it's going to be a very interesting match, this.
Yeah, Mark Allen doesn't seem too happy with his game of late, but he's been winning matches. He got to the quarterfinals last week in Wales, last 16 of the German Masters, semis of the Masters in recent times. So been winning matches without necessarily, as far as he's concerned, hitting the heights, which in itself is a skill. I think there is a difference in their approaches, and it's down to age, really. Mark Williams, the older player, of course, and I think the British Open, winning that was his big hit this season. It's got him into all these events. He's quite happy with that, whereas Allen, having had the taste in the last year or so of winning tournaments, just wants to win as many as he can. Heard Mark Williams talking about the Riyadh Masters, the new event in Saudi, which at the moment he's in, that could change. And Mark Allen, he's 12th on the one-year list. Now, of course, the Tour Championship is the top 12, so, again, he's not guaranteed that yet. This is potentially a big week for him, although there is another event before that in China.
Well, I said both players are quite happy playing all aspects of the game, and already we've seen, well, if you include Mark Williams, very good break-off 4. Really top drawer safety shots. Look at the table. First mistake in this first frame could be costly. Looks like Mark Williams is going to be the first to pull the trigger in terms of taking a pot on, taking this on to the right corner. Try and avoid the in-off in the left middle. You don't feel that he fully committed to the pot there. He's always had one eye on that cue ball. He knew that near the left middle was going to be a safe-ish place for the cue ball. I think it's one of the reasons that makes this whole player series so compelling is we're in the middle of the 3 tournaments, and already we've seen some of the first round matchups. I mean, Ding Junhui, John Higgins last night. This match here, Mark Allen, Mark Williams, right from the off, top quality matches.
Yeah, there's a real feeling of prestige to this event. It's a big crowd in on the second afternoon, and also I think the players, they turn up sometimes and you struggle even to get on the practice table. There's so many players at some of these tournaments, but not here. There's only 16, so there's just that elite feel to it all.
Eight. Nine.
It's a feature of his game, Alan. He never seems to be far away from the next object ball. But of course, he's also developed, in the last couple of years, a real steel to his game. But I think, obviously, like most players, he prefers to be in scoring.
Well, I don't want to go too
17.
early, but as soon as he potted one red and one black, the situation with the balls are beautiful. Black in the open. Did make one in the Masters recently. And this is a really good situation. Okay, that red in bulk wouldn't be easy if he got that far.
24.
But everything else is in pretty good position for a maximum break.
25.
Obviously, the most important thing is to get that first frame on the board, settle into the match. As I say, if you look at the situation at the table, this is an opportunity.
Well, whoever does make the next 147, it will be the 200th in snooker
36.
history, so it would be a real milestone.
$33. $40.
Well, the audience were queuing early today, and this is why. You can't afford to miss anything, can you? Frame one, here we go. Some early drama. Mark Allen still on the black as he just adjusts his logo there. Doesn't want to come unstuck in any sense.
$48. $49. $56. $57.
It was Gary Wilson, the man on the other table, of course, just a couple of days ago, 3 days ago now, won the Welsh Open, but he made a maximum in the semi-final. Comes straight on this black.
Well, this would tell us a lot, this next shot. In terms of his intentions in this frame, I don't think he can play for the black, but it's very, very tough. And there's still plenty of points available for Mark Williams to steal the frame, so I think it'll be the top one of these two. Cue ball up the table for blue or bolt colour. Yeah, shame.
65.
The balls were in perfect position.
Yeah, he knows he can't afford to take liberties. Maybe, you know, round one of the home nations, he might have gone for it, but he's playing Mark Williams, one of the absolute all-time greats. Does not want to give him any sort of in. We had 6 entries on the opening night. The highest Judd Trump 139. The high break prize is £10,000.
$71.
So this red, and Williams will need snookers.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mark Williams took the first red on in the frame, and I say didn't really fully commit to it.
72.
Mark Allen put out a good opening red, and his cue ball control, it's what he does best, and around the black spot. It's been a break that's been made to look pretty easy, straightforward.
79.
He's one of the best players in the world. He would have expected to win the frame with the opportunity that he had.
Cheers, Mark. 80.
Needless to say, 146 would be a great target for the high break.
87.
His logo is giving him some trouble. If it somehow fell off and landed on a ball, it'd be a foul. So you could do with sticking it down between frames.
88.
It's not really a break you see often, 146. Not sure if Mark Allen's made one in competition.
95.
Yeah, probably stun the cue ball of
96.
2 cushions here. Leave a choice of the 2 reds into the right corner. Brilliant century break from Mark Allen to kick off this match.
103. 104.
Just gives you such a good feeling, especially when it's a matchup, as we keep saying, against one of the other best players in the world, to sort of get the first blow in, as it were.
Exactly, you want to show your opponent how well you're playing. He has made a 146 actually in the World Championship, but they are rare breaks.
Yeah, what normally happens is when the maximum's over, you don't really pay much attention really after that, because you were going for all blacks. But Mark Allen has seemed to have had his eyes on this 146 from the minute the
112.
frame was won.
Well, there's been, as I say, 199 147s. There's only actually been recorded 33 146s, so it is a very rare break. Might see another one here.
$190. $121.
He made the decision, didn't he, not to play on that black when he must have been tempted to go for the maximum, but he's got respect for Williams. Just wanted to nail the frame, and that's what he's done
124.
superbly.
$128. $133.
Just 2 more shots, so then you can deal with that logo mark. That's the only thing that's bothered him in this frame. Well, this will be the highest ever break in this Players'
139.
Championship. If he knocks in the black, and he's bang on it, of course. What a wonderfully controlled break. A 146. And the total clearance from Mark Allen. What a start to the second day of this Players' Championship.
Obviously, we won't be able to
Leads Mark Williams 1-0.
Yeah.
Well, brilliant start to the afternoon from Mark Allen, 146. Of course, he made the decision not to play on the black, and that was Mark Williams' reaction. Yeah, should have gone for it, he said. But Allen, yeah, Allen was determined to win the frame, and he did with a 146. That's the highest break in the history of this tournament. Sean Murphy had a 145 previously.
The second frame. Mark Allen to break.
Just a brilliant start. The winner plays Gary Wilson or Hussein Vafai. They're on table 2. That's live, of course, on ITVX. You can watch the second table there. And Vafai's won the first frame.
So that's the third long pop that Williams is going for. Missed the first 2. And, wow, missing the first 2 doesn't exactly feed you with confidence, or has he missed this one? Wow, that's outrageous. That is outrageous. He missed that pot by a long way. As I was going to say, missing the first 2 doesn't give you a lot of confidence taking the third one on, and he missed it by a mile.
Cue ball has landed though in right amongst all the reds. But even so, the danger of the red has been taken away.
Brown ball, thank you.
So Brown's been nominated.
Foul and miss. Mark Williams 1. Mark Allen 4.
Danger for Allen putting it back is if he gets that shot right, he's going to be in behind it.
Yeah.
But he's going back. Rob Spencer, the man in charge here.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Can you declare again for us? Can you declare again? Which colour are you going for? Yeah, brown ball, thank you. Foul and miss. Mark Allen 4. Yeah. Okay, Mark, yeah. Brown, thank you. Foul and miss. Mark Allen 4. Yeah. Okay, Mark. Yeah. Round again. Yeah. Round ball. Foul and a miss. Mark Allen 4. Free ball.
Yeah, it's different now because it's a free ball. So Allen can take the yellow as a red. So that fluke in the end, it didn't really do Mark Williams any favours.
Six.
Oh, he's played for a gap there. The preferred red was to the right corner, but he always knew he had one to the left corner while he's on it. So that was a nice positional shot from Mark Allen. To say, he always had the safety of the red to the left of the table. But this was the red he wanted to be on.
7.
And having made that 1-4-6, brilliant 1-4-6 in the first frame, you'll be feeling this, feeling good about this opportunity. That was a very good shot. Sort of stun run through to square up the angle of the cushion. A red to right corner. Very good.
14.
Couple of months till the World Championship. I think it will be interesting to see how Mark Allen fares there this year. He never had any sort of record at the Crucible really until last year. He got to the semis
15.
for only the second time. Ran Mark Selby very close in what was a pretty tough, hard-fought match. If you think of all the iconic memories at the Crucible, and there are plenty, and Stephen has featured in many of them, you could argue that the two most memorable feature players from Northern Ireland. Alex Higgins with his baby in '82. Of course, Dennis Taylor potting that black against Steve Davis, '85. Mark Allen would love to be part of that history.
He's striking the ball beautifully. You can just see the work that he's getting on the cue ball in that little screw shot. Cue ball just responded immediately after he struck it.
30.
This is Mark Allen at his best, these first two frames, doing what he does best. Absolute watertight cue ball control.
38.
And of course, that 1 point for Williams is a fluke. It left
39.
him snookered on all colours, and we saw all those escape attempts. Eventually left the free ball.
$46. $47.
I mean, there's actually a 145 on here. I mean, staying on the blacks and clearing up, but either way, what a start. Main priority here, obviously, put the frame away.
Yeah, that is a priority, but when you're in this kind of form and you're feeling this good on the table, you're hitting the ball as well as Mark Allen is at the moment. All you can see when you're down in these opportunities is just clearing the table and how big a break you can make. Although
54.
you can tell by the body language, the slight grimace there. He's lost the cue ball for the first time in this break. This is a lot thinner than it looks in that picture.
$55.
Safely in, and it should, you would think, a couple more pots away, but that should secure the second frame. Without Mark Williams, well, you have to say without potting a ball. I'm not going to count the fluke as a pot. He might want to claim it, but I'm not giving it to him.
$61. $68. $69.
By the cannon on the red, when the black cushion is closest to the black. The only problem with playing cushion first is how much angle has he got on this red to get out for the black again. Pretty straight. You can screw out of there though, black to the same pocket. Oh, look at the action he got on that. In fact, he played for the black to the other corner pocket. This has been a wonderful display of cueing in the first two frames for Mark Allen. It's as well as I've seen him hit the ball all season, I think, even though I think probably when he won
84.
the champion of champions, beating Judd in the final, that was an excellent performance. But these first two frames, it's been awesome.
85.
Yeah, complete domination. Deft little cannon. And a
Nice.
chance now for back-to-back centuries.
Cheers, Mark. Thank you. 91. 98.
Well, this is how you dream of starting any match, particularly one against an all-time great. He's battled to a few wins of late, Mark
99.
Allen, but this is how you want to be playing. The black then to start with back-to-back tons. It looked like Williams had got lucky, he threw that red, but the cue ball was in a horrible spot. He gave away 16 points and worse still left a free ball, and this is the result.
$107. $112.
Well, he finally
Mark
missed,
Allen,
but what a start
112
from Mark
on the
Allen.
frame.
146 followed by 112 in early control here, playing superbly and leading 2-0. Well, what a start for Mark Allen here. Day 2 of the Players' Championship, 2-0, but it's how
Thank
he's
you.
won
The
the
third
frames. A
frame.
146 total clearance.
Mark Williams
And
to break.
finally missed his first ball of the day, but he was well over the line, of course. 112, missed the yellow. 2-0. Best of 11. Long way to go, but Mark Williams has basically just been sitting watching so far. Yeah, that logo has been reapplied between frames, but it's still on his mind. Mark Williams has won a tournament here in Telford, the 2000 Grand Prix. That was the season where he was world champion for the first time.
Lovely shot over the lock of the left-hand side. Again, had to be struck perfectly, and it was. I'd be really happy, Mark Allen, with the way he started this match, the way he's hitting the cue ball. You could be 2-0 up, and if you're not striking the cue ball properly, you're still not as happy with your own game, as confident, but he'll be delighted at the moment. A bit of trouble here, though. A little flick on the yellow. Let's put the cue ball in a really awkward position. I'm not sure if there's a way back to bulk from Mark Allen here. And don't really want to leave the cue ball down this end of the table. So, problem to solve here. Very well played. Okay, he's left the red to right corner, but well, we've seen Mark Williams. He's attempted 3 long pots and missed them all. So he won't be confident about this one, because look at what he's going to leave should he miss. Yeah, that tells the story of the difference, the two players, how they're feeling. Mark Williams, if he'd potted 2 out of the 3 long pots he'd gone for previously, he'd have taken that red on. It's not a great safety shot he's played though. Couldn't get the cue ball past the baulk line.
One.
Playing so well, he's doing another terrific pot. Nicely on the blue and away again.
Yeah, the sound it made was beautiful. The strike and the cue ball, the red hitting leather. Yeah, there's just one player in this match at the moment. And that's the brutal nature of top-class snooker. One player's on it, the other player can just sit and watch and hope
6.
that his opponent will somehow let him in and have a chance.
I mean, Williams hasn't been in close yet, as he hasn't been able to get in himself. He hasn't been left anything. So we don't really know how he's playing. He's had a go at a few long ones, but other than that, he's been a spectator, really. Got to obviously
7.
just focus here, because if there was an unexpected miss, he suddenly would be in with a chance. Has to be ready to take it if it comes, but at the moment, the way Alan's playing, probably thinks it won't.
Twelve.
He wants the red to left corner. Both times he's played for it, he's left himself hampered on the red. He's about to play to right middle, because that red to left corner allows him to get on the black, to put the black back in its spot. There's no hurry, really, the way the balls are situated.
30.
Pink's in the open. Although saying that, when it gets respotted, it's not in the spot at the moment, when it gets respotted, I'm not sure whether it pots in any of the corner pockets. So he will be trying to get on that black as soon as possible.
20. 25. 26.
'It almost feels worse that 1 point was a fluke, doesn't it? It's just been completely one-sided. but Mark Allen's been around long enough to know you've got to keep going. You can't afford
34.
lapse in concentration. These matches can turn round. Mark Williams is capable of this sort of snooker course himself. Didn't like the contact there.
Forty. $42. $47. $48. $54. Thanks. $55.
So a little check of the scores. Just 2 more pots, and it's going to be 3-0.
62. $63.
And it could be another century. A little bit of work to do with the remaining reds, but
70.
Mark Allen has just made a dream start to the afternoon here, just so in control of himself, of his
70.
game.
$78. $79.
If somehow you've stumbled across snooker for the first time this afternoon, I promise you it's a really difficult game. Mark Allen's playing his A game here to great effect.
86. $87. $94.
Yeah, it's been a masterclass in break building and cue ball control for Mark Allen in these first 3 frames.
Oh, what a start. 3 centuries in 3 frames from the Northern Irishman.
102.
Just seized upon every chance he's had.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
So
Mark Allen,
102 to follow the
on the
112 that followed the 146. This is seriously impressive stuff. And Mark Allen already halfway to victory, leading 3-0. Well, it's been an electrifying start to day 2 here at the Players' Championship. Table 2, Hossein Vafai leads Gary Wilson 2-0. This framing the balance for Vafai at the table with a chance for 3-0. That continues live on ITVX.
9.
Here on table 1, Mark Allen breaks a
Thank you, the
146,
fourth frame.
112,
Mark
102
Allen to break.
to lead 3-0. On 2 occasions, he actually made 4 centuries in a row, Mark Allen. He did it once against our own Ken Doherty at the European Masters 4 years ago, and indeed this season in the English Open against Mustafa Dorgum. I think he just covered the red, but again, there's a chance to get in. Possibly could pop this cushion first.
One.
Well, there's no raised hand to his opponent. He knew that was the direction the cue ball was going in. So it was okay. There was an element of luck to landing on a black like that, but as I say, he knew the direction the cue ball was going in. And he's right back in at the business end of the table again.
Eight.
The stats will say that Mark Williams has potted one long pot, but he hasn't. It was a fluke. So, as I say, normally that's a pretty strong part of his game in terms of getting in and creating chances. It's not been on today at all. And sometimes at this level, Mark watching this cue ball intently.
9.
Perhaps if you're 3-0 down, that cue ball goes in off. But yeah, back to Mark Williams. At this level, that's sometimes the only way to create scoring opportunities is by potting long balls. You cannot rely at this level on just being left opportunities by your opponent.
Yeah, and it's always been a great strength, of course, for Williams, but he just can't get in today. Let's hope that chair's comfortable. Gary Wilson, by the way, won that 3rd frame against Vafai, so the new Welsh Open champion is on the scoreboard 2-1 to Vafai. The winner of that plays the winner of this.
Fifteen.
Yeah, that was excellent. He got down to the shot first. Wasn't happy. Shot here off a bolt colour. The reds are all kind of covering each other. And you'd love with a shot to be able to play it into an area to give you the choice of at least a couple of reds. If you're playing for one specific red, it needs to be absolutely pinpoint. If he played the cannon on that red, that was an excellent
Nice.
effort. Looks like it goes to left middle, he's straight down. That was a clever shot
20.
off the brown. Played the cannon, but knew if he went past it, he always had the red to left middle. And you'd be, oh, brave person to bet against him winning the frame at this visit, the way he's playing. Reds again. Nicely open.
$25. 26.
First three frames, the majority of the time he's been around the black, but whenever he has had to play for a blue, he's always got the right side of it. So important. He's let this cue ball run a bit loose. I think it stopped in time. It has to go back up for the blue.
31.
Because he's had such tight control of the cue ball, you can almost say that was almost a bad shot. He wanted this red straight to be able to play for the black to left corner.
32.
Again, just right side of the blue.
$37. 38.
That's gone wrong.
45.
He just didn't have the optimum angle on the black. He had to force it, the cue ball, to get the cannon on the two reds to hopefully have one to right corner pocket. He wanted to really cannon the right-hand side of those two reds. And that's end of break. A slight reprieve for Mark Williams.
Mark Allen. 45.
Yeah, it's not going to be 4 centuries in a row, but still in full control, isn't he? 3-0, 45-0. Mark Williams
Yeah.
on the back cushion.
Yeah, thank you.
Just showing Rob Spencer he can just clip the side of that right-hand red. Kind of feels anyway back for Mark Williams. He's going to start in this exchange if he can get the upper hand, get a frame on the board. I think he'd feel great at the interval because he's been sat most of the time just watching.
again, I think a confident Mark Williams, or a Mark Williams that's at least involved in this match, would have no hesitation playing this red to right corner when it's in the open.
Well, that's got to go down as an error. Can Mark Williams just get himself in here? Kind of got to happen now for him. Starts with a good pot on this red.
What?
So he's in. Yeah, he's just acknowledging the crowd. First sort of legitimate ball he's potted. He got the fluke earlier. He's been pretty deadly down the years at making clearances, regardless of the lack of table time here. It's certainly a chance. Yeah, this was just a little... Yeah, thanks a lot. You noticed.
Oh, it's a shake of the head. I can only assume this red he cannot play for the black. And that's why he's not quite happy with the position.
4.
But yeah, this is why Mark Williams has been such a legend in the game. You're frozen out for 3 frames, you get an opportunity and you find the concentration, the focus to be able to take advantage. Even though you're stone cold, as it were, coming to the table in terms of potting. That's what separates the best from the rest.
9. Ten. 70. 80. 25. 26.
Yeah, a long way to go in this break in terms of winning the frame at this visit, but if he could somehow manage it in a weird way, be almost the happier of the 2 players going into the interval. He's been absolutely, well, completely outplayed the first 3 frames, but in a best of 11, he'd only be 2 frames down. And as I say, if he could make this break, win the frame at this visit, give him a huge boost.
33. 34.
'Mark Allen would have just a little tinge of frustration. He was in first in this frame.
41.
Just misjudged the cannon. He thought he was going to go ahead and go 4-0 up. So this is a huge moment in this match.
42.
Absolutely
49.
perfect. He didn't want to be the cue ball to be tight in the cushion and be straight on this red. Means the angle he's got, he can get the cue ball out from the cushion. You don't want to be playing these with too much pace. Probably just try and leave himself a natural angle in the black. As he decided to try and screw back up for the blue. As I say, the more pace you play this at, the more difficult the pot becomes. These pockets are very, very tight. Again, you see, just look at the natural angle in the black so you can drop it in. The cue ball will go past the pink, off the cushion for the yellow. Just didn't want to do anything
50.
with that red. He'll just miss the pink, hit the cushion before the middle pocket, and drop nicely on the yellow. But don't take your eye off the pot. We talk about Mark Williams' temperament being one of his biggest attributes. Okay, he's gone a little bit too
57.
far in the yellow, but to have sat out for 3 frames, 3.5 frames, and then come back with this possible clearance is a testament to that temperament.
$59.
Yeah, there's no one like him, really. I mean, he was looking over at Mark Allen between frames, sort of smiling at him, you know, rather than feeling demoralised. He had to wait a long time for this chance. Can he take it? He still needs green and brown.
62.
This is why he's still at the top of the game. He's 50 next year, Mark Williams, but in these sort of situations, he just comes alive. Brown, and he salvaged a frame. And Mark Allen is
66.
seeing that if Mark Williams gets a chance, he can certainly take it. So Allen started superbly. 146, the highest break we've ever seen in the Players' Championship. 112, 102. He was in on 45. He lost position. He later left a chance. The question was, could Mark
71.
Williams take it? And this is the answer. We've been playing for just over an hour. It's been wonderful stuff.
Mark Williams.
He's walking out. He's in
71.
control, yes, but that's a potentially very important break for Mark Williams, just to stay in touch and remind everyone there is a match on here. Allen started superbly. Williams with that 71 has hit back, so at the interval, it's Allen leading 3-1.
I'll tell you what, you know, if Mark Williams can win this frame, Mark
So your
Allen
seats,
is not the
please.
sort of personality to
So your
panic, but
seats.
maybe a
Thank you. The 5th
small
frame.
amount of doubt will start to
Mark
filter into
Williams
the
to
mind,
break.
especially given the way he fights Williams and that cool, unflustered temperament.
Yeah, Mark clearly can't get to the red near the corner. Otherwise he'd have been playing it by now. There you are. recover on the safety shot is difficult, so he's thinking might as well try and be aggressive.
One. Six.
Yeah, this time he is on the red. Through the gap.
Seven.
Caught that one just a little too fat, little too thick, and that's why the desired position isn't quite there. He's okay, but work to do.
Twelve. Thirteen.
A proper snooker match this has been so far, isn't it? And it sort of ups the ante as far as when you make a mistake, you expect to be sat in your chair for quite a while.
Just give us a second.
You might have heard the referee Rob Spencer there saying, give us a second, Mark. The reason for that, the pink won't go on its own spot, so it's a delicate operation. Get the pink closest to its own spot in a direct line with the black. Rob thought he might be able to nestle the pink in the tiniest of gaps, but it isn't there.
Thank you. 90.
Just stopped in time now. He might have a play on the pack of reds with the pink and black tied up somewhat. Just about how awkward the queuing is over the edge of the yellow. Yeah, he can't get sort of low enough on the cue ball to play the power shot, so just have to sacrifice the cue ball here and just drop it in dead weight for the loose one.
Twenty-four. 25.
Yeah, now he's got to leave the cue ball quite close to the right middle pocket here if he wants that straight red for pink that follows. So this could be a key shot now.
30. $31.
Only 31, but to get here has been an almighty struggle. And there's potential for more.
$37.
Yes, he's put in so much graft in this break so far. Wouldn't want to push the boat out and present Mark Allen with a decent opening. That red obviously is tight past the green.
I think it will squeeze by, but it's certainly not a full pocket. I am so pleased the cue ball didn't go in there, because that was, for me, the best shot of the break so far.
Yes, he just raised the button of the cue to manipulate the cue ball up for bluer ball colours. So, been a barrage of breaks so far today, but this has been as good as any, really. Oh, he's kept this going. So not out the woods just yet.
43. $44.
But he is now. What an effort to keep this going.
There's a hill close to here called the Wrekin.
49.
If you take the long way round to somewhere, you say, oh, I've gone all around the Wrekin to get here. That's this break. He's gone all around the Wrekin, but now he's on the motorway, steaming towards winning the frame.
$50. 55. $56. $62. 63.
In snooker, the big bucks are always awarded to the player who makes the highest break in the
68.
tournament. If it was awarded to the player who makes the best break in the tournament,
69.
Williams might be a candidate for this. Talk about making something from virtually nothing.
Mark Williams, 69. On the frame.
What a single visit that was. Mark Williams putting together a break of 69 with nothing there when he came to the table. It's 3-2.
Thank you, the sixth frame. Mark Allen's to break.
Here, you couldn't wish for a better contest than the one that's currently in progress. And I was just thinking, you know, Alan, Mark Williams knows from personal experience that making 3 centuries in a match is no guarantee of success. He did it against Mark Allen in the International Championship in 2014 and lost. And suddenly, Williams is buzzing.
Yeah, certainly is another terrific pot. Quite get a hold
Four.
of the cue ball. The good news, we can only leave the readies playing, so just natural to land on the black. We can get the pot. Yeah, not this time.
Mark Williams,
Okay.
4.
Psychologically, I think it's fair to say, Alan, this is perhaps the most important frame of the match so far.
Oh, there's a bonus.
1.
I think the cue ball is just a bit too close to the baulk cushion to entertain taking on the brown. Yeah, I think up till now it's been like two kids in the playground with a football. Mark Allen had it, obviously, for the
Mark
first
Allen.
3.5 frames, and since then it's been all willow. But yeah, a massive frame. They all are, yeah, but you do get to a juncture in a match where it does feel bigger for whatever reason than just the scoreboard, isn't it?
Just a slight misjudgment, and it could be expensive.
One.
Yeah, very much so. Try and shove that red away from the black spot. Well, perhaps it's not. A great impediment for him, so a good chance to see if Mark Allen can get back in stroke. As usual, Phil, the table is playing superbly, isn't it? It's always the same at our ITV events.
9.
Yeah, all credit to our table fitting team. Do a great job. I think it's important here to say that while we've been extolling the virtues of Williams in terms of his
16.
cool temperament, another player with a fine temperament and bottle to burn, Mark Allen.
Some
players might be a little concerned with the way that Williams has come back into this. Some players would be a lot concerned. I think he's got the capabilities of shrugging it off.
$24. 25. 32. 33. 40. 41.
In terms of pursuing a
48.
fourth century of the afternoon, the two reds close together on the right-hand side cushion might well prove to be a hindrance, but in many respects they're helping Mark Allen at the moment because they're reducing pressure slightly. He knows if he were to make a mistake here, it would be very tough for Williams to clear up. And in terms of putting the frame out of reach, he doesn't need the 2 reds.
49. $56. $57. $64.
Frame ball.
$65. $72. $73.
It wriggled, but it's been that kind of afternoon. And now a quartet of centuries, very much on the cards.
77. $78. $85. $86. $93. Cheers, Matt. Thank you. 94.
The black will not be easy, but let's hope it goes in. What a shame. Tell you what, though, that was a terrific response. Mark Allen back in control, playing beautifully and leading 4-2. Every time the Players' Championship rolls around, you know quality is guaranteed. It's the
Mark Williams.
16 leading players on the one-season ranking list. The players are in form. And both of these two have been in form this afternoon. Mark Allen especially so. Allen dominating in so many ways. He's had 2/3 of the table time. Even though that one didn't find the target, he's far outstripping Williams in terms of points scored, although the deficit could be significantly reduced right now.
Cheers, Mark. Thank you. One. Six. Seven.
It's kind of one of those matches as well. Obviously,
40.
Mark Allen 4-2 in front, but in normal circumstances, it's a big lead, isn't it? But it kind of doesn't feel like a big lead in this match because both players in tip-top form. Both look easily capable of 2, 3, 4 frames on the spin.
Thanks. 15. Mark Williams. 15.
No, as the blue was going towards the pocket, it had been undercut.
One. Seven.
You need to strike that shot so sweetly to get significant dislodgement of the balls. Didn't quite pull it off.
Yeah, this red cut back to right middle does offer position. He made his calculations. I think it's better just to
Mark
things
Allen's
tight for the time being. And as usual, good safety shot to end his visit.
On table 2, the revival of Gary Wilson continues. He was 2-0 down. Now he leads Hossein Fafai 3-2. Remember, if you want to multi-device and watch both matches, you can do so because the table 2 coverage is provided by ITVX. By the way, the winner of Wilson Vafai plays the winner of this in the quarterfinals. Mark Allen, 12th on the one season points list. So he's right on the borderline to make the Tour Championship, which is a big deal. 13th is Hossein Vafai for Mark Allen then. A victory himself this afternoon and defeat for Vafai would be the perfect day.
Yeah, this tournament is a huge event in its own right. We're right at the beginning of the business end of the season, aren't we? It's when the World Open in China to come a number of weeks, and then at the end of March, the Tour Championship before the Crucible. I've been looking actually at the seedings for the Crucible. A lot can change and will because of these three massive events coming up, but it's always worth keeping an eye on the seedings, the potential seedings for the Crucible. At the moment, Mark Allen is in 4th spot. Luca Brissell, of course, defending as number 1. So that would mean at the moment, but things will change, that Judd Trump and Ronnie O'Sullivan would be in the same half of the draw. That's so many subplots towards the end of the business end of the season, aren't there? Of course, that doesn't mean they're all going to get to the semi-final, far from it. But thinking ahead to it, I think Mark Allen would be quite happy to be in the opposite half from the two players of the season so far, Judd and Ronnie. Now potential plant.
One. Three.
Sign of his confidence that he's happy to leave this mid-distance red rather than the cue ball get down and amongst them. Control the cue ball, pink to same pocket.
4.
Potted it thin. Lost the cue ball a fraction, but just still on it.
Ten. Eleven. 17.
He's carved this into a frame-winning chance. It's the way they are when they're at their best, these guys. Well, you leave an outside chance of a plant, and it goes. Nicely on the yellow before you know. He's on the verge of winning frame in one visit again when didn't appear to be an awful lot on offer.
24. $25.
It's gone a bit awkward. Can't avoid the cannon. So I've got to get the cue ball spinning out of there.
30.
There's always a mini risk.
Parts of the green does evergreen Mark Williams. 49 he is next month. He remains authentically world class.
Cheers, Mark. Thank you. Yeah, I'll do it. Cheers. 36.
Yeah, if you think forward 10 years, I know it's a long time, and the class of 92 will be, not that far away from 60, but I think they can be top players even then if they want to be, because they're that good. John Higgins is on record saying he thinks he's as good a player as he's ever been.
39. $40.
Such a smart shot. He knows that the brown's enough. Just double checking his numbers. I'd be surprised if he played the pink brown. So 52 in front.
The wise old owl, no positional ambition whatsoever.
44.
Apart from the fact that Mark Allen needs a snooker, the awkwardness of the blue also very much in Williams's favour. But he knows frames can turn in an instant. That's why he's giving this all due care and attention.
Yeah, you say wise old owl. I mean, not so much of the old, but I wouldn't be surprised if he played cushion first and sent the red up table. There you go.
Mark Williams. 44.
An equally wise old owl in the commentary box.
otherwise. Yeah, he's always aware. I mean, he sees everything, all the what might be on the horizon, the danger, spotting it. Yeah, looks to the heavens there, Mark Williams. Just left a half chance here to perhaps get something going.
Frank conceded.
No,
Mark
though.
Williams.
Mark Allen knows the game, or the frame is up. This match is absorbing. It's 4-3. As for the match we are focusing on, Mark Allen has played wonderfully well. He scored 319 points more than his opponent, and he's only got a one-frame lead to show for it.
Yeah, catching the brown, so long red for Mark. Don't want to put the mockers on him, but it's had the go-in look about it, this shot to date.
One.
Yeah, it's not great. I mean, playing this with topspin, this sort of three cushion route is not great where the brown is, so it's more a punchy, straight up and down, between yellow brown probably.
Six. Mark Allen 6.
It wasn't easy. It was a pressure shot, of that there's no doubt. But I expected Allen to knock it in.
One. 5. Mark Williams, 5.
It was always a positional shot in the dark.
Interested in the plant, and if it's on, looks to be right jaw from behind the pocket. But he's playing it quickly, so he must fancy this. Going to spread the reds far and wide. Oh, and the pink's perfect. What a result. Mark Williams will consider himself unfortunate to leave it, sure.
Black, at the moment, out of commission, but this remains
7.
a terrific chance.
Cheers, Mark. Thank you.
Especially for someone whose cue ball control is renowned.
8.
There, a little out of optimum position, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Forty. $50. 20. 21.
Always nice to have everything at your mercy, black in the spot, reds everywhere, but in some ways this is an even better chance because he gets towards the winning line in the frame. There's some reds tied up.
$26.
Plenty in the open to get this one without playing too many cannons.
27.
That shot he played there is typical of a top player. You'd ideally want to be on the pink, somewhere around straight, but he overcooked it with blue waiting. Good decision. Plant's definitely on.
32. $33.
And this time he is perfect. Yeah, so 40 in front and 3 red pinks would be 21.
39.
So just about
40.
enough there to win the frame without any more cannons.
$46. 47.
Didn't quite deliver through that, so he can get close to the red. So this is going to be the key shot coming up, this last of the loose reds. Not a certainty.
$53. $54.
Into the heart of the pocket. He's a break building master, is Mark Allen.
61.
With him, the cue ball simply obeys.
62.
Yeah, it was an innocent looking safety shot from Mark Williams, unfortunately leaving the
69.
plant. That was dispatched in the minute. Well, the second the cue ball landed on the pink, you felt this was going to happen.
70. Mark Allen, 70.
A shame, but more than sufficient to re-establish a 2-frame gap. Mark Allen, one away from the quarterfinals. Mark Williams is
Thank you, the ninth
resilient.
frame. Mark Williams to break.
He will need to be. Quite simply now, has to win the last 3 frames to gain a result that right now doesn't look likely. But the last time he beat Mark Allen, it was 6-5. 2018 China Open in Beijing on the final black. I think all the neutrals would like to see a repeat.
One.
The break-off shot has become such a big shot, actually. Certainly at the top level of the game. Another example of it. Mark Williams obviously just lost his cue ball thin off the pack. Hand on the bed, we know what normally happens, dispatched with a minimum of fuss and nicely on the brown. Okay, he's a bit straight for comfort. But nothing you can't handle, you wouldn't think.
5. Six.
Alan, his cue ball control is so good. If he starts knocking those in, that makes him formidable.
Yeah, and that again is pinpoint.
11.
Absolutely perfectly on the red now.
$12.
Playing the pack, screw off them. Brilliant. That's a fabulous shot. And the other good thing about it, there was no hesitation. He didn't deliberate, or should I just play on the loose one or pick them off? No, jugular, early.
$20.
For once, he's lost the cue ball just a fraction, so this is awkward.
Just caressed the near jaw, but
27.
at that pace, the pocket was always going to accommodate.
$28.
Mark Williams being reminded here, perhaps, that in the modern era, you can play nicely and lose. He's not played a bad match at all.
$33. $34.
Yeah, and now you'd be amazed if he doesn't win the match here and now. Mark Williams, in the last frame, has said at the time, an innocent-looking safety shot left a plant. And it went. 70 break followed, and then got out of his chair to break off in this one. And he's sat there ever since. Tough school.
Thanks, man. 40. $40. $46.
Slight shake of the head there, because I don't know if he's quite straight enough on the red to get the low black, so the play on blue. It's not a brilliant target from the blue. It's one of those targets where you can easily
47.
lose the cue ball. But he's absolutely perfect. So, looking for a thick contact, the key shot. Beautifully played.
52.
Nestle brush cannon, knowing that the red was on offer. 2 red blacks for 68 in front
53.
should be enough.
$60. $61.
As Alan said, frame and match ball right here.
$58. Mark Allen.
Not
68.
quite over yet.
Yeah, got to say as well, there's been some transformation because a few days ago, just 100 miles or so up the road in Llandudno, Mark Allen was very poor in his loss to John Higgins. I don't know what he's changed. Maybe not anything, but the difference in performance has been night and day.
And I recall at last year's Welsh Open, he went out in Llandudno to Rob Milkins, playing very poorly indeed, unrecognisable as the player we've seen today. Well, that is the exclamation mark. Last year, he arrived at the Players' Championship, #1 in the one-year list. Lost to Joe O'Connor. 12 months on.
Frank conceded.
It's been nothing but impressive. Mark Williams played more than reasonably, but not well enough to contain Mark Allen. Breaks of 146, 112, 102, 94, 70 and 68. Brilliant. 6-3. He's through.